Red Sail to Capri. Chapter 8. 8 days! They didn't see Angelo for a week. Another week passed, and still no Angelo. Herr Nordstrom, Monsieur Jacques, and Lord Derby became very impatient. Even Michael began to wonder what had happened to his friend. With each passing day, however, Signora Pagano became more and more cheerful. Her meals more and more wonderful. She sang and laughed. She talked to the food. It was like old times. Finally, when 15 days had passed and Angelo still did not appear, Signora Pagano looked particularly jubilant. "Michael," she said, "that Angelo, Michael, he is no fool." Michael looked surprised. "But, Mama, I thought you didn't like Angelo." "Did I say I like him? I only said he was no fool. Do I have to go around liking everyone who is not a fool?" Michael waited. He knew his mother was leading up to something. "Yes," Signora Pagano nodded her head. "Angelo is no fool. He can be smart when it is smart to be smart. He talked big in front of Herr Nordstrom, in front of everyone. 'I, Angelo, will take you to the cove.' But alone again, he realized his foolishness. It is easy to be brave in front of a lot of people. It is much more difficult to be brave alone. So what does Angelo do? He disappears. Without Angelo, it will be impossible for the men to go to the cove. They all know that. Angelo came one night and said, 'I, Angelo, will take you to the cove. I will arrange everything. I will get the boats. I will watch the tides. I will do everything that has to be done.' And the men believed him. They will sit back and relax. They wait and they wait and they wait, but no Angelo. No Angelo, no cove. They are helpless without him. Can they get boats? No. Do they know about the tides? No. Do they know anything? No. So they wait and wait for Angelo. Now they are tired of waiting. Even the desire to go to the cove is not so great anymore. They are bored and impatient. They are disgusted with Angelo, with themselves, with the inn, with Capri. Soon, the saints be praised, they will be tired of waiting and leave Capri. Then Angelo will come back again. Everything will be as it was before. I tell you, he is no fool, that Angelo. To disappear, to vanish. How wise, how wonderfully wise. Angelo has fixed everything for us. Soon all our troubles will be over. Yes, I'm sure of it. Angelo has gone away." Michael stared at his mother. Angelo gone away? Where could he go? Go? Where couldn't he go? He could go anywhere, that Angelo. Who is to tell him where to go or where not to go? There's only one place I am sure he could not go. Where? To heaven! Signora Pagano smiled. Today she was almost ready to let Angelo into heaven, but not quite. Perhaps when the men had really gone, she would see. Certainly, she was feeling more and more kindly toward Angelo all the time. To go away, that was very smart, very clever, a wonderful way to solve their problem. He was no fool, that Angelo. Signora Pagano nodded her head. Yes, Michael, I am sure of it. Angelo has gone away. Michael's eyes flashed. I don't believe it, Mama. Angelo would not run away like a coward. Who said he was a coward? Sometimes it takes a brave man to run away. Sometimes it takes a brave man to run away. Michael repeated the words slowly to himself. Was it true? Had Angelo really gone? Michael knew that Angelo would do anything to help his friends. He would do anything, even act like a coward if he thought it would help. Was his mother right? Had Angelo gone away in order to keep all of them from going to the cove? Michael shrugged his shoulders. Who could tell what Angelo was thinking beneath his gay words? Had his promise to take them been nothing but a plot to put them off until, as his mother said, the men grew tired of waiting for him and went away? Signora Pagano beamed. I have a wonderful idea, Michael, a wonderful idea. Soon the men will leave. Every day they grow more and more impatient, and once they have gone, Angelo will come back. Then we will have a celebration, Michael. We will have a grand dinner. We'll have a grand dinner for Angelo. What shall we have? For the first time in his life, Michael was not interested in food. I don't know, Mama, he answered dully. I don't know. Fish? Signor Pagano looked thoughtful, thinking of her best recipes. No, not fish. One does not have fish as a special treat for a fisherman. Chicken, perhaps. Roast chicken. Does Angelo like chicken? Yes, very much. The answer came from the end of the room. Michael and his mother looked toward the doorway. Angelo! Michael was delighted. Signor Pagano was furious. Angelo! Michael hurried toward him. Angelo, where have you been? Been? I've been busy. What do you think? The boy asked me where I've been. I've been getting boats, studying tides, making plans. Where have I been? Where do you think I've been? No place, only what? Angelo's deep voice had filled the inn. Immediately, everyone came running. Herr Nordstrom, Lord Derby, Monsieur Jacques, Signor Pagano. Angelo, Angelo, Angelo! They crowded around him. They asked him 1,000 questions. Only Michael remained silent. He knew Angelo too well. He knew Angelo could not be hurried. Angelo sat in a big chair in front of the fireplace. He looked very serious. I have 3 fishing boats, he said. My own and 2 others. If anything happens to them, I am responsible. Don't worry about that, Herr Nordstrom made a grand gesture with his hand. I will pay if something happens to them. And if something happens to you? The words seemed to hang in the air. Everyone was silent. The words filled the room, filled the minds of the men, of Michael, of Signora Pagano. There was no room for any other thoughts. Finally, Herr Nordstrom stood up, took his wallet out of his pocket, and handed some money to Signora Pagano. Here, he said, if I do not come back, give this money to the 2 fishermen. Signora Pagano put her hands behind her. I will not touch the money, she said. It is wrong. The whole thing is wrong. I will have nothing to do with it. Herr Nordstrom walked over to the mantel and picked up a small jar. See, he said, I'm putting the money in here. Surely, if I do not come back, you will see that the fishermen get it. Signora Pagano would not look at Herr Nordstrom. She stared straight ahead at the other end of the room. If you do not come back, she said slowly, I will tell the fishermen that the money is here. They can come and get it, but I will not touch it. I will not touch it. You think your money can buy anything, anything. And she began to cry. Signor Pagano tried to change the subject. He looked at Angelo. Tell us, Angelo, how did you get the other 2 boats? How? I will tell you how. I have 2 brothers, Giovanni and Antonio. They promised to lend me their boats some Sunday when they were not fishing. What did you tell them, Angelo? Angelo shrugged his shoulders. I did not have to tell them much. Everyone on Capri knows how it is with the tourists. They must be treated like infants, like bambinos. If they want the moon, someone must climb up a ladder at night and get it for them. If it rains, someone must turn it off. If the ocean is too cold, we're expected to heat it. A shield must be made for the sun if it shines too brightly. When a tourist buys a ticket, he thinks he also buys a piece of heaven. Is it not so, Signor Pagano? Signor Pagano looked at his 3 guests out of the corner of his eyes and then quickly nodded his head at Angelo, hoping no one else noticed. So, Angelo went on, I did not have to tell my brothers too much. They were quick to understand. I told them, you were having your troubles, Signor Pagano. I told them your 3 guests wanted to take up a little trip in some fishing boats. You know how it is, I said to my 2 brothers. The tourists, they are a bit queer, not quite right in the head. They get crazy ideas. La la la, Signor Pagano's voice carried across the room. At last, Angelo has told the truth about something. This is a day to remember. Not quite right in the head. Crazy ideas. It is the truth, Angelo. You are smarter than I thought. Lord Derby, however, was not so pleased. Well, he said. Well, was that necessary, Angelo? I'm not sure I like all this. To be called queer, not quite right in the head. That is going too far, much too far. Had I told them the real truth, Angelo answered, they would not have thought you queer. They would have thought you insane. Would you have liked that better? All right, all right. Lord Derby blew on his mustaches. Let us forget about it. What has been said has been said. What has been done has been done. The important thing now is to go to the cove and be finished with it. When do we go, Angelo? At noon, a week from Sunday. At noon, on Sunday? Everyone looked startled. Even Michael could not keep silent. In the middle of the day, when everyone can see us, Angelo? Angelo smiled. The safest place for a fly is on top of the fly swatter. The safest place for a secret is out in the open. If we sneaked down to the boats early in the morning, someone would be sure to see us. If someone saw us, he would wonder what we were doing. And you can be sure he would wonder out loud. Then buzz, buzz, buzz. In 5 minutes, the whole town would know about it. In 10 minutes, every man, woman, and child would be down at the harbor to look at us. Every move we made would be watched. 1,000 questions would be asked. But, Angelo went on, if we all go down to the boats in the middle of the day, if we talk and laugh and make a big commotion, who will notice? Who will be interested? Who will care? Who will pay any attention to us? He looked at Signora Pagano. If you lend us your lunch basket, I think we can hide our secret. Carrying the basket, we will be 6 stupidos off for the day, nothing more. Signora Pagano nodded. All right, Angelo, I will lend you my basket, and I will fill it for you too. Surely you will not want to carry an empty basket. Angelo smiled. You are right, Signora Pagano. Our secret would rattle around in an empty basket. It would be sure to attract attention. No, Signora Pagano shook her head. The basket, it cannot be empty. That would never do. I will fill it for you, Angelo. I will fill it full of rocks. Angelo stood up and made a deep bow. If you fix the rocks, Signor Pagano, they will be delicious, I'm sure. And just think, you have 8 days to cook them. 8 days. Suddenly, Michael felt very queer. 8 days. In 8 days, his life was going to be different. No matter what they found or didn't find in the cove, he knew that in some way, his life on Capri would never be quite the same again. Was his mother right? Was it insane to go? Was it ridiculous to give up their safe, pleasant life for this strange, doubtful adventure? He looked around the room. Of the 6 who were going, how many would still be alive 8 days from now? Would they be shot down, drowned, frozen to death, eaten alive, frightened, ill? Would they live to tell what had happened? 8 days. 8 days! Angelo's voice filled the room. Just 8 days, signori. This is not much time. There is a great deal to do. Good day, signori. And Angelo went out. Well, I hope you're enjoying this story, and I hope you come back for our next video. Please reach down, click like, and subscribe. Remember, I love you guys, and as Tigger says, ta-ta for now.